Monday. Yo, what's up, family? It's Monday. Happy Monday. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I know you guys are so used to having that Monday morning Bible study, something to listen to on the train, something to listen to on the drive over to work, just a little something to get you through the day. But I'm super excited to announce that today we're going to be starting a little mini series on restoring your spirit. Or you may be asking why? Why no Bible study today? Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, somebody, and I'm not going to point any fingers, somebody forgot to take notes on John chapter 10, which is supposed to be our next chapter. So instead, I'm doing this impromptu mini series, and I think it's going to be a blessing for you. So welcome to Restoring Your Spirit 101. And the title for today's message is going to be, I don't want to fall again. And if you guys have ever felt that way, if you've ever felt like, I don't want to fall again, if that thought has ever crossed your mind, I guarantee you that you're going to want to sit down, grab something, notepad or something. You don't want to take notes because I know it's going to be a blessing. And while you're at it, go ahead, be nice, press the like button. Let's go ahead and bless it, little click. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the little bell, so that you get part 2 of this message. So when I say I don't want to fall again, no, I'm not talking about falling in love. I'm talking about something much more serious. I'm talking about falling back into a bad habit. I'm talking about falling back into sin. I'm talking about falling short to a personal goal that you may have had. And don't front, because I know that this is 100% relatable. I know I'm not the only person who's felt discouraged by the thought that, I don't want to fall again. And honestly, it's not even about the act of falling again. The truth is that just that thought and that feeling, I don't want to fall again, it kind of just turns into this trap in your mind where it's like, you're just so hesitant to do anything. You're just so afraid and full of fear of making another mistake that it sort of paralyzes you and can even push you towards actually making a mistake. And the crazy part is that you can honestly give your best effort. Like, you could do the best that you could do. You could be the best you and still fall short. So my goal today is to give you 3 tips. 3, 1, 2, 3. To give you 3 tips on how you can kind of just maneuver with that everyday fear, with that very human, very relatable thought. And I just don't want to fall again. Now, I came up with this little mnemonic device for you guys to apply and repeat, something that I came up with that really helps me. So don't laugh at it when you hear it. Don't knock it till you try it. And it's think before you speak and mean it. So the first tip and the first part I want you to focus on is think before. So when I say think before, I'm actually talking about the very act of thinking or remembering something. Because I know I'm not the only one. It's like, this. What's 7 times 6? I mean, you know the answer to it, but if I catch you off guard, you might just have to think about it. It's like, maybe I don't know. And usually what they say is that test is not really a question about your capacity to know something, just rather what you can remember at the moment. So if you look at life like a test, or those moments as a test, it's so important for us to be able to remember the important things in order to pass that individual trial or test. Most of the battles that you're gonna face, most of the trials that you're gonna face, honestly, it has everything to do with what you're thinking up here. I mean, there are tough things that you've been through because you're a tough person that they didn't phase you, so you made it through all right. But there are things that you're weak against, and when you start thinking about it, everything in your head is just telling you that this is a really big deal, although it may not be that serious. It's serious because of what's going on in your mind. Being able to remember and think through those things that try to cripple your growth, your spiritual growth, your mental growth, your physical growth, your growth as a human being, all of those trials and all of those tests, that battle, it's just something that you're gonna have to first conquer right up here. You see that fear that I was talking about earlier, that fear of failure that just pops up in your head. It happens because we go through this cycle. It's like we fail, and after we fail, we kind of fear failure even more. So then we fail because we're so busy being afraid of failure that we're kind of just giving up on the the quest at hand, the fight at hand, the battle at hand for us to actually conquer our fears. And it's so bad that we actually forget everything that God has spoken over our lives. You know, we tend to forget the fact that we're more than conquerors. We tend to forget the fact that God has already given us the victory through Christ Jesus. The very last thing that we do is take time to remember everything that Jesus did for us in those moments where we feel like we're just being consumed by our fears. I'm telling you, there are very few things that are more liberating than the freedom that you feel when you remember everything that God has done for you, when you remember that you're no longer a slave, when you remember that death has been defeated, that Jesus already paid the price, that it's by grace that you are saved and not by your performance. When you remember that the devil is a liar and that your very own heart is deceitful above all things. See, when you remember those things, you're able to calm yourself down and just tell yourself, no, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, this fear, this battlefield in my mind, this battle that's going on right now, is nothing more than a distraction from everything that God has already done. You have to remember to think before. And let's not stop there. Let's take it to the next step, or tip number 2. Think before you speak. Sometimes in life, remembering is just not enough. There are moments in your walk, there are moments in life, there are trials that you're gonna face and challenges that you're gonna face, you know, that are gonna try to beat you down, they're gonna try to cripple you. And just remembering that you have the victory is not enough. You're gonna have to open up your mouth and begin to declare, begin to speak life over your victory real time. Sometimes you just have to hear it. Sometimes you literally have to speak it out so that you can hear it. How many times have you ever thought about something for hours, you know, because you're upset, you're being petty, this, or that, you're just thinking about it, and then you speak it, and then you hear yourself, you're like, wow, that sounds really dumb. There's so many times where we get so caught up in what we're thinking that and we never take time to speak it out. We never take time to really hear what it sounds like, and it just defeats us. Listen, sometimes you just gotta open your mouth and speak what you're feeling and speak what's going on in your head to someone else, and they'll be real quick to let you know just how silly you're being. Like, bruh, you know better. You know better. Sometimes we need to hear that, but if you don't take the time to actually speak it out, if you don't take time to just air out everything that's going on inside, you keep bottling everything in, you're never gonna receive that correction. You're never gonna get to really measure or really judge the things that you're harboring inside. Never underestimate the power that you have to speak life or death over yourself and the people around. And this brings us to tip number 3, meaning. Think before you speak and mean it. So you've taken time to think and remember that you are more than a conqueror, that you are no longer a slave. Like, you took the time to think, and you've taken the time to speak life over yourself and your situation, to see your way through it. Now all you have to do is mean it. If you don't want to fall again, then you have to not want to fall again. And it sounds redundant, but there's a difference. There's a difference between not wanting to and not being able to. You see, you do a lot of things that you don't want to do, but you never do the things that you're not able to do. Sometimes you just gotta get to the point where falling is just not an option. Like, it's not an option. Like, it's not gonna happen. Bro, it's just not gonna happen. Because if we're being honest, I know there are a lot of people who are trying to diet right now. A lot of people trying to make changes. A lot of people who want to stop falling into bad habits or break bad habits. But the moment they feel like going back to it, they go back to it. They don't want to. They want to change, they want to be different, but they do it anyways. Meaning it, like really meaning it, changes you. See, I think the moment that you decide to really mean it, that's the moment that breakthrough actually comes. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not gonna fall again, but it means that you're gonna treat those moments where you fall differently. Falling won't be just something that delayed your change. It won't be an inconvenience. It won't be something that happens and you're like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. No, falling will literally be something that breaks you, something that breaks your heart, something that just defeats you. And sometimes we need that. We need that price, see, because if you think that changing or not falling is just something that's like, if it happens, it happens, of course it's not gonna happen. Of course you're gonna continue to fall. Sometimes we need to, we gotta put some weight on it. Sometimes we really gotta mean what we say. Sometimes we really gotta mean what we want. Sometimes no really has to mean no. So there you have it. Think before you speak and mean it. And it doesn't mean that you're not gonna struggle. See, no struggle means no growth. Put it into practice and you're gonna be blessed. Peace.